All right, hello, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. We are back to playing Call of Cthulhu today. We have everyone here, but we've been told that if we don't hurry the F up, we might not be able to play. So we're just going to jump right in if that's okay with everybody. We good? We good with that?
We're good.
Of course.
Okay. So, because if we don't...
Giving us time constraints.
I
What?
wonder.
Who might that be? Who?
I don't know. Who could that be?
I don't know.
Some jerk.
I really want to get...
Sounds like a
to
real
the-
asshole.
I want to get to the Cabela shopping scene. Let's go. Come on. We got... we got bug spray to get. Anyhow.
Get some of those candles that you put out and keep bugs
Absolutely.
away. Citronella.
Absolutely.
That's what we're
Is
talking
there a
about.
Cabela's in 1936 Mexico City? Write us in. Let us know in the comments section. Video.
Do they have
Should there be?
Do they have Cabela's? Citronella?
Right. Welcome, Raiders.
goodness.
Welcome, Tales of Myth and Mayhem.
Oh, there he is. How's it going, Mark? Man, thank you for the raid. Hopefully, the rest of your sesh went well. If you haven't checked out Tales of Myth and Mayhem, they have an awesome run of Massive Nyarlathotep going on. So go give them a follow, both on Twitch and on YouTube, and catch up because they're in New York City, which I've played. It was very fun.
New York City.
New York City.
Get the rope. Do people get like I don't know.
Salsa.
Paste pecani sauce commercials in the like late 80s, early 90s were a different breed. It was just a different breed.
They were.
You just talked about hanging people because they used the wrong salsa. Who knew? Anyhow, let's dive in. So last time around, we had a harrowing night in Mexico City, but eventually you all managed to get some rest. Marie and Bev took some gunshots. Marie got clipped twice. Beverly got one and got like a bit of a concussion. So the two of you recuperated a little bit. And Pastor Wood, I was about to drop an expletive. Pastor Wood tried to search while Marie and Bev were in such a state for some nectar and could not find it. Could not find it. In the morning, Bev, you decided to stay in bed because Ashley wasn't here. So you stayed in bed and did some reading. Marie, you were like, major wound? Nah. And you got in a car and drove all over the place with Patrick. You went to the home
Very
of...
carefully.
Absolutely. You went to the home of Leticia de la Luz, who is the singer you've heard so much about. That is her new stage name, or at least it's been her stage name for the last year or so. Rosario Maria Lopez was her original name. So Marie, you did stay in the car while Patrick, you slipped inside. You found some things. You found some ruined photos where it looked like someone had like kind of torn, scraped away certain aspects of a woman's face. You found a flyer for La Paz featuring a concert with Leticia and Javier Luna and his Grinning Fools, but it was like from springtime, like during the premiere of an album. And then you also found a love poem, which you very brilliantly read, Long. Thank you very much for that. Elsewhere, Shima and Pastor Wood, you headed to the penthouse for Jonathan Brooks. You bribed a concierge in the lobby with $20 and a shoe dollar, which probably put it over the top, but definitely probably put it over top there. And then you started searching around. Pastor Wood, you stole some mail. You threw it all in like I think like a pillowcase. I think y'all took. You spotted some odd orange stains in the carpet. Shima, you went into the bathroom in the master bedroom. You found some used condoms, an unlabeled bottle of medicine, and some crumpled up wax paper pads that had traces, you think, of nectar on them. Pastor, you continue to push further into the to the penthouse. Very nice place. Towards the kitchen, but you found something kind of odd about the layout of the apartment, and it dawned on you that there was a section that seemed to be hidden away. And so rather than fully exploring the entire apartment and seeing if there might have been an easier way inside, you and Shima decided to start bashing open the wall. And that's what you did. You made a big ass hole in this wall. And then as you look through it, you realize there was a hidden door outside on the patio that might be an easier way in, so you weren't trying to step over top of studs and whatnot. So you went outside, and there the two of you found some empty bird cages, lots of them, and large enough for a few dozen birds. And in the feed, there was the mossy aroma of nectar and also several severed fingers. And you found the entrance to that hidden room. And when you managed to push that door open, you found a polished study. So there's a writing desk, some books, marble altar, it looked like, a charcoal sketch that had all sorts of like different symbols and lettering on it. And that's where we left the two of you. Meanwhile, Patrick, Marie, you headed back to your hotel, Casa de los Sueños. And in the parking lot behind the building, you spied a very familiar green car, a green two-door that had been shadowing some of the same locations that you all had gone to the day before, and also helped some of you, to some degree, escape the issues at Victor Cortez. As at his home, you even matched up some of the damage to the car with what happened when the shooter was hit by the car outside of Victor Cortez's bungalow. When you got to the third floor of the hotel, you heard voices coming from Bev's room. You pushed the door open, and there you found the same man that Pastor Wood confronted the day before, causing him to spill his coffee. And that is, I think, where we're going to go ahead and pick up. As we'll say, Bev, maybe this is maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes prior. You maybe have been kind of resting on and off. Maybe we got one of the books nearby. But you hear like a soft rap on the door. And you hear a voice coming through. Hello? Sir, is there anyone in there? Hello?
Who is it?
Housekeeping. We're coming to, I was told you have bandages and such to replace. And you look around and you do. There's like bandages on the floor. There's like trash, stuff like that. What do you do?
Please come in.
And as the door opens up, you find that it is like he pushes in himself. We'll say you don't get up. And you see a man, probably about 5'9" or so, a little doughy, a little heavy set, not crazily so. You can see that he is dressed in what would be a nice suit, if not for the fact that it's probably old, dusty, stained, and maybe a little strained here and there. You can even see that there are some stains on a shirt, very wide tie, and he's got like this overly wide fedora on his head. He very much doesn't look like housekeeping, and he takes his hat off as he does so, revealing like he definitely has a comb over going on situation. And you can see some 5 o'clock shadow on his chin and under his nose, and he says, "I don't mean you any harm. But I am not housekeeping. I just want to.
What do you want?
I just want. May I come in?
Stay over there.
See." And he comes in. Can I close the door?
But stay by the door.
See. And he does.
And Bev does have her purse on like the table on the side.
Mm-hmm. And he looks and he's like, he's very perceptive. Maybe your eyes drift.
Mm-hmm.
I mean you no harm. If I meant harm to you, I could have. Well, events yesterday could have transpired differently. I merely wanted to see if. Well, I am glad to see that you are. But the other one. And he's like, you see, he's trying to say the right word. He's fairly fluent, you can tell. Mm-hmm. But he's still struggling. The other woman. I found her. She was very far gone. I was just making sure she was okay.
Yes. Thank you. What's your name?
He reaches into his jacket and he pulls out a handkerchief and he starts like, patting it across his forehead because he's sweating. I am Gonchi de Toro. It is. I have seen you, but I do not know your name.
You can call me Key.
Key?
What? Yes. Why are you following us?
I am not following you. In fact, I do not know who you or anyone you are with. My job has not been to follow you. I have been hired by certain parties to keep an eye on various places. And it just so happens that our paths crossed. I think we have much to discuss.
Think we do too. Who hired you?
Well, it's not a long story, but that is part of the problem. It's a man by the name of Jonathan Brooks. He is not a good man. And he means you harm, I think.
And Beverly, can't stop herself from nodding. Oh, you are right. He's not a good man.
No. Far worse than you probably realize. May I sit? And he kind of motions to a chair that you've got in the... Yeah, and it's the same probably chair that maybe the doctor or Pastor Wood pulled up the night before. And he sits down and he starts to kind of telling you a little bit about himself, how he's the equivalent of a private investigator. He's hired, you all were not his task, but he was paid to sort of take note of things, and you have been taken note of. We'll say a few minutes pass where you go through your kind of basic introductions of each other and who you are, maybe, are you okay? Is everybody okay? Where is Marie? When you finally, the door opens up, no knock, just opens up, and you look over and you see there is a upright Marie with a bit of a grimace on her face, and Patrick. And Patrick, the two of you, this is where we left off. You see a man sitting in a chair at the foot, or a little bit away from the foot of Beverly's bed. And Beverly's propped up in her bed, conscious, talking. There's a big old book by her nightstand and her purse and stuff. You can even see maybe the gun sticking out of it.
Yeah.
What do you guys do when you come in?
Quick scan of the room to see if it's just them.
It is.
Are we interrupting something?
Just introductions. You're well in time. And Beverly will pull open her covers on her bed and make room for Marie to come sit next to her.
And as she walks over, Marie looks at her and her back to this person initially. You're okay?
Yes. And she does the introduction and informs them, he is a private investigator who has been hired by Jonathan Brooks, who he's aware of is not a good man.
And Marie kind of scoots and sits next to Bev.
Okay. And he looks at you. I am pleased to see that you are moving and alive. The last I saw you, it was not as certain that would be the case.
Maybe you already discussed this, but how is it that our paths keep crossing so frequently?
As I was explaining to Mrs. Key, I was hired by Mr. Brooks to maintain a certain level of vigilance over properties that are of interest to him. The Studio de Mañana, the Novo manufacturing facility, Luz Records, the home of Leticia de la Luz, the penthouse of Jonathan Brooks. And then he starts coughing as he tries to remember the sixth one, because I've forgotten. And he says,
Victor's house, right?
and yes, in the home of Victor Cortez. Mr. Brooks is a very paranoid man. He hired me because he suspected that there would be individuals coming from Los Angeles. Apparently he has some sort of business with people there. And from my understanding, which is limited, there was a bit of a fallout. And he expected retribution
So I was to watch these places. I would get payment, and I was to report what I observed to Mr. Brooks, especially if out-of-towners were to arrive. Now, I was led to believe that the out-of-towners I would be looking for were very rugged men, criminals.
Not. And he kind of like gestures towards Marie and Beverly, and you can tell like there's like this outdated chivalry that's kind of eating at him at the same time.
Not, well, not people like you.
We are not the out-of-towners he was worried about.
Is that so?
I don't think we are. And she sort of looks to Mr. Price and Miss Key, and there are other individuals much more dangerous than us.
Yeah, you're on the right track. How much have you told him about us?
And he kind of looks very sheepish at that point.
I regret that I have fulfilled my duties. I have told him your descriptions. I don't know your names. I only know Mrs. Key. But I have told him I have left reports as the process is. Undoubtedly, they have reached him by now. Konovalov's men more than likely have retrieved them and sent them forward. They know your descriptions. They know your number. And they know...
And he looks like
they know where you are staying.
Is that who attacked Marie and Bev? Or was that happenstance?
At Victor Cortez's home. It seems that Mr. Brooks's paranoia is more extreme than I thought. I did not know that he had other people watching these places. It is possible it is one of Konovalov's men, but more than likely, it is Brooks. If I would have known, I would have warned you. I have no interest in seeing violence done. My job was merely reconnaissance.
Do you have any idea whosoever might have caused that deadly fire then, if you were set out to watch that establishment?
Yes. I was not there when the fire took place, and although I did not know Jorge Novo personally, I have it on good authority that he was a decent man, God-fearing. I'll be honest with you. I have been having regrets about the acceptance of this job. And if I could find a way out from under Mr. Brooks, I would. However, I have seen what he has done to people who do not fulfill his duties. And until I have an exit strategy in place, I must proceed based upon the confines of our contract.
Did you share with him the location of Victor Cruz?
That was not necessarily difficult to find. Victor Cruz is... You mean Victor Cortez? Victor Cortez.
Yes.
You've had a very difficult night, much blood loss. But Victor Cortez, it was not... His home was not secret. It was not I who provided it to him. He knew of it himself. Brooks did. But
yes, my inquiry was to whether or not Mr. Brooks is aware of where Mr. Cortez is currently.
Where he is currently? Does that mean you know where Victor Cortez is currently.
And Marie sort of narrows her eyes a bit as she's sort of looking at him, because he has come across as trustworthy, but this would be sort of the first time that we're giving him information that he didn't already know. So
Okay.
she's, perhaps.
You can roll a psychology test if you like.
I
Would you like
have
to?
psychology. I would love to do that.
Yes, we have a basically a first year psychology 101 class as a party. Everyone's got a decent amount. It's pretty nuts.
Hell yeah.
And because we have a generous audience, I'm even going to take a boost so that I'm rolling under 79.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I guess no advancement for you. Okay.
Oh, we got a 7, so that is an extraordinary success.
Amazing.
You get your hesitation is probably well met. Like, he is being very generous and polite, but at the same time, you get the sense that he's like withholding things. So you get the sense he's nervous. You don't get the sense that he's outright lied about anything he said, but you certainly get the sense that he is maybe playing into this friendly, chivalrous demeanor a little bit heavier than maybe it really is. Less like evil, more opportunistic. Like maybe he sees in you all an opportunity to get out from under, that kind of thing. But he's making himself, like you do get the sense that he's putting a little, with that extreme success, you do get the sense that he's kind of laying it on a little thick. Like he's got his hat in his hand and everything, and he's, being so respectful,
Sure.
Mrs. Key and such.
Sure. So I would say, since Marie and Bev are sitting next to each other, I would say that Marie would probably just give a little tap to Bev as she just says, perhaps. And and she'll run back through the list of locations. And so, like, everything he listed was places that we've basically already gone to. So it was Leticia's, it was Jonathan's, it was the records, it was the studio, and then there was a fifth place, I believe. But nothing was unknown.
It was Luz Records, Estudio del Mañana, the Studio of Tomorrow, Jorge Novo's manufacturing facility. It was Leticia's apartment, Jonathan Brooks's apartment, and Victor Cortez's bungalow.
Okay. So that was not new information to us. So none of those locations were new to us.
I would say they were slightly new in the sense that, like, you didn't know he was at some of them because you've only probably observed him at maybe half of those locations.
True. Okay. So what, if I may inquire, how exactly did someone like Jonathan Brooks come to hear your name to hire you?
He can't quite help it, but he kind of grins and he says,
I am Gonchi del Toro.
And we'll go ahead and cut from there. And we'll go over to the rooftop of Jonathan Brooks' apartment, the penthouse floor. It's about 10 levels. Remember, the whole apartment building is about 10 levels. And remember, too, that we are outside on the patio. You have just stepped a few paces away from the bird coops, and you currently are looking in at this hidden room that you've discovered. The door swings open on a hinge. It was makeshift. You can see it's not perfectly made. It's kind of like a little flawed here and there, but you're pretty sure you opened it decently. You knew where the hinges were enough to kind of leverage it the way that it kind of needs to be leveraged. Looking around, just to sort of go back through what you observe, and then you can tell me what it is that the two of you, Shaima and Pastor, would want to do. There are, on one whole wall, there is a makeshift altar that seems to be made out of marble. You can see it's partially made out of marble. You notice that there appear to be a handful of things on that altar, which looks like an album, You notice a vial as well, Pastor Wood. Your eyes maybe immediately look at that. A couple of half-melted candles. You see above that altar, there is this large mural, like hand-drawn in charcoal. And there's like some symbols and such. And it looks to be a kind of a landscape portrait, some kind of mountain maybe. And you can see that on one slope of the mountain, there is a massive mouth. And you can see all these different like occult symbols and lettering sketched here and there. Some of them in charcoal, some of them what looks to be smeared in nectar. You notice that there is a writing desk and a rolling chair, and there are some shelves along another wall. Obviously, there's the big hole that you opened up on the opposite side, but you don't see anything kind of coming from the front doors. It doesn't look like anyone's come in the apartment or anything like that. But there's a handful of books. There's folders, papers, all sorts of things. So the big things: bookcase, altar, mural, and writing desk. So what are the two of you doing?
Pastor Wood would immediately go in, and we both are carrying these pillows that Pastor Wood cut a hole in and then turned inside out. So like they're empty of the stuffing. And he would immediately go to the altar, and he would be tactful about this. He'd put the album in the pillowcase first and then just like kind of sweep everything else into there. Miss Oberon, I suggest we take everything that's not nailed down. Why don't you work on that side?
That's a good idea. Yeah, okay. And
Shima, roll a spot hidden, Shima.
Okay.
As he tells you to do that, and he goes for the altar. You said you were grabbing the album cover, right? I'll go ahead and share that with you. Musica de la Luz, featuring the voice of Leticia de la Luz. And there are 5 tracks: De la Luz, Canción del Cuco, Armonía de los Dioses, I'm not sure if I pronounced that one right, Carcia de los Labios, and Grunido de la Montana. And it's got accompaniment by Javier Luna and his Grinning Fools. So I've shared with you all the front cover, and then you notice on the back cover, as you pick it up and slide it into your bag, the back cover seems to be all sorts of like weird symbols, and maybe, I'm not sure if it's a different language or whatever it is, but it seems to be written in a code or a language that is certainly not Spanish, certainly not English. How'd you do on that spot hidden, Shima?
I failed and I missed a critical failure by this much.
Okay.
97.
Then guess what, Pastor Wood? You can snatch that nectar without her ever seeing it.
Yep.
All right. So most of this stuff is going in the pillowcase then. But one item does end up in a pocket by accident. Complete fluke.
Okay. Fair enough. You don't want it to break. It's glass. It's dangerous putting that in there.
It's a jumble in there. Plus, there's all like those fingers in there. That's gross. You don't want to just mix everything.
All right. So, Pastor Wood, with the exception of the vial, you slide the album in. You slide maybe some of the candles, I guess. But really, it's just the album, the nectar, and the candles that are on the altar. The mural, if you wanted to pull that down and roll it up, you could do that as well. Or
is it in a frame?
No, it's sort of pinned against the plaster wall, because remember there's like 2 plaster walls and there's 2 brick walls, and so this is like pinned to the plaster one.
Yeah, I'd definitely pull it down. Rolling it up sounds like it'd be cumbersome. I'm gonna go ahead and fold it and just shove it deep down in there.
Okay. Shima, what are you up to?
I'm following Pastor Wood's instruction and doing a sweep of the other side of the room and pushing everything into the pillowcase that isn't nailed down.
Okay. So are you going to the right
remaining
writing desk or bookcase, basically? Those are the 2 options.
I'd like to start with the bookcase.
Sure.
Feels organic.
Of course. Okay, so you can see like it's attached to the wall next to the desk, and it's mostly empty, but there's about a dozen books, it looks like, kind of scattered about. As you're pulling them off, and maybe I would say you're not just like dropping them considering your studies, maybe you're being careful with them, as some of these look like decent quality text. I think that's fair. Thank you. One thing you get free of charge is you notice that most of them seem to be dealing with like Mesoamerican art and culture. You can see some are on like Mexican folk songs and such like that. You also notice that some are stuffed with other papers as well. Like you can see that there are books that just have pages and pages of different writing and letters and all sorts of stuff that seem to be kind of slid in between the pages as well. So basically you're going through it. You actually notice, you might even notice like one or two familiar looking books from the UCLA lot, or I should say the entirety of Echeveria's lot. So you do notice two that stand out to you: Children of the Night and Womb of the Black Stone. I think that's right.
And we already have copies of those, right? So Shaman's particularly excited because they can now be given to the library as part of our agreement with Dr. Lenfer.
I'm not sure if you brought those with you. We'll have to double back and see if those
we have them
with you. Yeah,
with us, but they are in the collection, which I think is back.
Bev took care of it. Sorry, the full title. The full title, sorry, Children of the Night and Nahuatl Legends. That's the full title.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you're doing that. All of this takes a few minutes as you take and you maybe look at them. You take a peek inside. I will say if you're not reading, that's fine. But you will notice, Shaima, in some of these books certainly seems to be like some notes and such here and there, and maybe like a photograph or two, stuff like that. So while you're piecing them together, Pastor Wood, what are you doing?
I would want to pull away the altar a little bit and just look behind it, see. I don't know. Altar seems like a good place to hide things. So I'd want to like see if I can take the top off, pull it away, if there's anything underneath, behind it, whatever.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead and I guess go ahead and just give me a strength. It's like heavy marble. I'm sure you could do it, but just to make sure you don't like botch it. You are jonesing right now for some nectar, so it's
I rolled a 54 over 50. I will spend the 4 luck.
Yes.
I'm not feeling as liberal with my luck this week though, so we'll see if I keep doing that.
Okay. You do notice that as you pull it away, there appears to be on the ground behind it, on the floor, appears to be like a crumpled up, somewhat stained letter. It somehow probably just sort of fell and managed to like nudge its way between the altar and the wall. More than likely, it's meant for the writing desk to the side. When you take a look at it, you don't have to read the whole thing, but I'll tell you like immediately when you pick it up, it's a draft. You can see there's all sorts of like, crossed out words, rewritten things. So it's likely not the final version. And it seems to be written by Brooks to someone named SS. That's it. If you want to stop to read it now, let me know. I can share it with you. Otherwise, we can put it in the...
I think I'll keep putting it in.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm trying to go faster.
Okay, what else? There's the writing desk. So if the two of you converge, then you start looking through. The desk itself is very nice. Like this isn't just something you kind of grab out of a junkyard sale. This is a very nice, handmade, hand-carved. It looks like it was probably custom made. Everything you know of Brooks is that he's a very affluent guy. He likes a lot. He has money and he likes rich and nice things. You notice that there are other stacks of letters here and there and a lot of stationery. So like it looks like this is probably a place where he wrote letters and such. You find as you're going through, a couple stand out to you. One, I'll say Pastor Wood catches your attention because you've been asking about it. You've been asking about Merida, and you do find a letter that the envelope and then the letter itself that seems to be from a Sancho Dominguez in Merida, sent to Jonathan Brooks about a month ago. So it's dated at the beginning of November. So right now it's like December 1st in our game. So it's about a month old. And I'll say, just to split it up, Shaima, you, as you're kind of going through, maybe Pastor Wood stops for a second, catches his attention. You kind of get some others. There's, looks like there's another letter from Brooks to T. And I would say that you would probably at this point assume T means Trammel. And then it looks like there is a letter from that same SS to Jonathan. So lots of correspondence. Like this is a veritable jackpot of correspondence and information, it seems like.
Taking all of it.
Okay.
I'm not really stopping to read it. I'm assuming from the few that I've seen that it's more important than it is not important.
Okay.
So just
Okay. So we'll say you all, the two of you, spend maybe 20 minutes in here going through each drawer, each shelf. Maybe you move the desk away from the wall, just double checking to see if something falls to the ground. And I will say that in doing so, you have taken everything out of here with the exception of like the desk and the altar itself. Like anything that could be taken and thrown in those pillowcases you have. What would you like to do next?
Well, Miss Oberon.
Sorry, go on.
We probably won't be able to walk out the front door with these bags, regardless of how many dollars we have in our shoes. I would suggest we take the fire escape.
Makes sense. I'm gonna do that.
Do you feel that we should do anything else before we vacate the premises?
I do want to go over to the altar and see if there's any etchings or anything that I can either rub onto the notebook that I have or
like carve into it.
Yeah.
No, this one's more like a polished marble slab. It doesn't look like anything's been etched into it. So it's the type of thing like we would use for like modern day countertops and such and like, nice homes.
So it's not worth noting in any way, really?
There's nothing you notice on it that isn't just the natural striations of the marble slab itself. Like everything, it looks like all of the stuff that would have been of interest, Pastor Wood has already scooped up into the pillowcase.
Got it. Thank you. That's all the last thing I wanted to do.
Okay. Anything else?
One more suggestion. Miss Oberon, you have not been able to hit the weights as much as you would like recently. Do you think you could lift that altar?
I'm sure I could, but I might have some difficulty navigating the fire escape if I'm carrying it.
Well, no, I don't think we should have to carry it any further than the elevator shaft.
So we're just dropping it down the elevator shaft?
It would mean it'll take a little bit longer for people to learn what's happened here.
I certainly could try.
Just disable the elevator.
I will hand the books and all the other stuff over to Password and try to lift.
I'll be the manly man and I'll hold doors open for her.
So Shaima, you wrap your arms around this marble slab and you start dragging it out the door of this room onto the patio next to the bird cages. Pastor Wood, you like hold the door open for you. Both of you roll a listen test or spot hidden, one or the other. It's up to you. Pick one.
I'm always going to choose spot hidden if I can.
Yeah, I'll do spot hidden. And can I take one audience check? Because I've already failed once today on it. So
sure.
Of course. If you can sleep at night with that decision, you go right ahead. You know what?
I can, Chef. Okay. Thank you.
Through the night without any trouble whatsoever. I don't have to wake up and go to the bathroom 3 times. I'm not. That's fine. How'd you do, Pastor Wood?
That's a 2 for me.
Oh, I saw yours. Yours a 2. You rolled a 2.
That's why
I didn't roll as good as my Trey, but I did still get a 13 under 89. So I got an extreme as well.
Nice.
We're both very much on it.
13 though? Okay. As you all are back out on the patio and you're dragging this away, Shaima, as like air drag, and it's like scraping along the concrete patio, and it's just marble scrape upon scrape. You notice for a moment that it's kind of overcast, and you realize like the light is kind of coming down on you and not coming down on you. And as you peek up, you see like there's this black spot in the sky. Pastor Wood, you don't notice this as you still act, because I actually rolled in between the two of you. That's why I said 13 was important and why I took a picture of my roll. You're holding the door open for her to get out. And so the two of you are like outside on the patio next to the bird cages. And you see sweeping down from the sky, Shaima, a flock of dark birds that start squawking. And as they squawk, they seem to echo and cackle. And when they get close and they begin to swarm around the two of you atop of this patio, you notice that these are not just any old simple birds, but in fact, they seem to have been terribly and utterly mutated or affected in some particular way, as both of you roll very high on your spot hidden. And so you can see that they, at the base of each beak, where like their mouth should be, instead you see like an empty hole. You can see that many of the birds have these minor small mouths, like the ones that were floating and popping up around Tramel's mansion, like a mouth on the side of its breast that just seems to gnaw and gnash. Another one that looks like a toothy sphincter coming out of one of the wings, and they all descend and caw, they say, come down upon you. And we're going to go into initiative as they begin to swarm and peck and claw and bite at you. So here we go.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Okay, as you are being attacked by
the person not in it.
I also need both of you to roll sand tests. Go ahead and roll sand tests, the two of you, while I am getting this little thing set up.
Marie is sitting comfortably in a nice bed, sitting next to Bev, recuperating and chatting with a half-nice gentleman.
I don't know why I said
failed
roll
my
initiative.
sand by 3
Oh
points.
yeah, I should roll sand. Okay, good.
I failed with a 97.
65
97.
over 62.
Both of you failed, huh? Okay. Pastor Wood, I'm going to say you take 4 points of sanity loss as you see an unnatural, demonic flock of these birds swarm around you like something out of the very worst parts of the Bible. Shaima, you take 3 points of sanity loss as the both of you are kind of attacked by what looks like 50 birds. Some of them, thick, heavy, black, but all of them dripping and clawing. And when they caw, the caws, they sound so strange and weird as they are not coming out of a normal bird mouth. What are your dexes? So Pastor Wood, what is your dex?
My dex is 70. Not bad.
Okay. What is your dex, Shaima?
60.
Okay. So they will get to go first then. And because I'm going to say, Pastor Wood, you're maybe a little taken aback and maybe they swoop in a little bit and get around you before you're fully aware of it. I'm going to give them a little bit of a bonus on their first attack on you. So Pastor Wood, you said 70, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So they're basically one creature. It's a swarm, effectively. And they have a couple basic rules. I have a certain number of attacks I can do with them. And they're swarming around this entire patio, and I'm going to split these attacks between the two of you. So I'm going to start with Pastor Wood. Now, you're welcome to dodge, fight back, that kind of stuff as per the normal rules. Oh my god. Are you kidding with these rolls?
What was that roll?
That was a 1.
Are you serious?
I rolled a 1.
Oh,
You said you're dodging, so roll.
Holy fuck!
Lost a die.
I've rolled,
28 under 65.
Yeah. it's gonna. Unfortunately, he's gonna hit you because you can't unless you rolled a crit. You can't get up to a crit. Yeah, you can't spend luck to get to a crit. So even if you were a stream, you're still not quite. So it is still going to hit you. And so they peck away at you, and you can see they bite and they claw and they scratch these beaks, these talons, and they start ripping through you. And as they do, like some of them, you just feel like a whole run of teeth sink into your skin. So their first attack against you is going to. Oh God, I'm just rolling nothing but rocks against Pastor Wood. 4 points of damage on their first bite on you. Their second attack on Pastor Wood. Do you want to fight back? You've already used your dodge. You can fight back though if you want.
I thought you could only fight back once. You can't dodge more than once?
You can only dodge once per round. You can fight back as many times as you want, but each time you do a fight back, you get a penalty die. And it's cumulative.
Sorry, I don't know why I'm forgetting all these rules now. No, I will not fight back. I want to save it for my action.
Okay.
Because you stayed out of
swear
the
to God,
gunfight.
guys, I'm not lying. I swear to God, I just rolled another one. I swear to God, that's 2 runs in a row. I am not lying. I swear.
We're getting a webcam for Jeff.
Please believe me. I rolled
Melissa's
literally
rubbing
2
off on him.
natural ones. Granted, it's on a D4, so it's probably not quite the same. No, seriously though, I rolled 2 ones. I swear to God.
Nightbot Command, Jeff
I
cheats at
swear to
Cthulhu.
God. I know. I don't believe it myself, but I saw it. I swear. 3 points of damage on this next one, and then 1 more on Pastor Wood, and this last one will be a miss. Okay. So 2 of these birds have just started to rip away. One kind of tearing away at your ear, maybe your hair, your hat's kind of falling off kilter a little bit, and there's a few more that are just like scraping away along the back of your shirt. Shaima, I don't want you to feel left out, so here we go. First one, do you want to dodge? Do you want to fight back? What do you want to do?
She just lost a bunch of sand, so she's gonna fight back.
Okay, go ahead and roll your brawl. And let me know the degree with which you do. Oh dear, guys. You want to tell everybody? You want to break the news?
I got 100.
She rolls 100. Okay.
My trade. This is the time we need to be clutch.
I am being clutch. I'm being clutch for Jeff. I'm being clutch for Jeff.
I have good news and bad news. The good news is that they don't actually claw into you. The bad news is I go hard with critical fumbles in combat. So this is what's going to happen. As you go to swing back, you lose your balance. And as you've been dragging this altar, you fall down and the altar falls on top of you. So you manage to not get attacked by it. You find yourself prone and somewhat pinned. You can push yourself out of it on your turn, but you're literally at this point, you've got this altar that has now kind of trapped you a little bit on the ground. And more than that, I have 2 more attacks on you. Are you going to fight back on this one? And I'm going to say if you do, there's going to be a penalty die on it since it's the second time.
You can't dodge.
Yeah, no, I can't.
I'll say you can't now because you're pinned. Yeah.
Is,
okay. Or you could just take the damage.
Did I take any damage from?
No, because I actually didn't hit you on the last round.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just take the fucking damage.
I was successful this time around, so the damage you'll take is 3 points of damage, and then third on you, that's a cop die. Third is a miss with an 83. Okay, so that is the end of their turn. Goes to Pastor Wood. Pastor Wood, you've got these 2 birds clawing and pecking away at you. You look over, like your mind is trying to fathom. Why are these birds this way? You remember the fact that there was a smell of nectar. Maybe they're feeding the birds nectar. Who knows? But you look over, you see Shaima panic, swatting and swinging and fighting away. And in doing so, she stumbles, she trips. The altar that she's been dragging, that you told her to drag, now falls atop of her, and she seems pinned on it as at least 24 birds descend and start pecking away at her eyes as she's constantly swiping at them. So Pastor Wood, what would you like to do? What does the Old Testament say about this sort of situation?
I didn't want to go loud, but you had to drop an altar on yourself, and you can't get out of the way now.
Don't go loud. Don't go
Oh,
loud.
goodness.
Don't go loud.
I'm not gonna go at him with a knife. I'm gonna shoot him. I'm
Okay.
pulling out
You've
my
got-
revolver.
You've got pillowcases full of stuff. Whack them.
I'm not gonna risk it.
Okay.
The knife would be better than the
Leave,
pillowcases.
you
I
should
feel like.
leave. Just fucking run.
Well, I might back up still.
Just
to
jump
give
off the
myself
side
that.
of the building. There's
Go.
no way they can beat you down to the bottom. It'll be fine.
All right, I've got rapid fire. Ignore penalty dice for multiple handgun shots, so I'm gonna make my 3 shots here, and just try to not center mass, but like the thickest part of the swarm. I'm not trying to go anywhere near Shima.
Okay. I have one little thing they're going to try to do on their turn that they get for free. Go ahead. Roll.
Success on the first one.
What tier of success?
That is 43 under 85. So
Regular.
that is hard success, I believe, because it's under 50, right?
85.
Oh no, it's not under 50.
Yeah, it's just missed. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I'm bad at math.
Okay. Keep going.
Just hover over on your character sheet. Remember, you can see the
Next
number.
one. Yeah, I'm switching between tabs on the character sheet to see my damage. Next one's just a regular success.
Okay.
And final one is extreme. I rolled a 2 under 85.
All right. 2 of those actually land. One of them you do miss. They do manage to sort of evade it, and you just fire. 3 shots go off loud atop this highly affluent building in the middle of Mexico City. 3 gunshots go off. Give me your damage one at a time, please.
All right, so just 2 go off then. That
Just 2
first one
actually
is,
land. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 damage,
Okay.
and
Next
then 7 damage.
Okay. I'm doing a little
13
math in
total.
my head. Okay. Damage
To
is
have it.
calculated a little differently. Yeah. You do manage to, as you're shooting, you take like 2 birds. You see they fall. One of them explodes right in front of you in this rain of gore and feathers. And you clip another one. You can see it kind of spinning out, and it kind of goes off the side of the building at that point. But there are still a few dozen of these swarming around. Anything else that you wanted to do or say on your turn?
I would like.
Goodbyes.
I still have both of the bags. I assume like in one hand. Is that too much to say, or did I?
I'll say you have. I'll say if you. Oh, that's a good point. Give me a luck
Because
test.
I was holding both while she was doing the altar.
But you did draw your gun and started firing. So I feel, let's see. Give me a luck test to see if you were able to. Because I'll say the whole process of you firing and then picking them back up is
That's
fine. It's a question of when you drop them, did anything fall out?
18 under 30. Got lucky on that.
Okay. You fire, and you lean down. You kind of put your hand, your arm over your head with your gun hand, and you reach down. You pick them up, and a quick look. You don't think anything fell out, but you're not 100% certain. But you think you have them, and you're still out here a few steps away from Shima, a few steps away from the fire escape, a few steps away from the door to go back into the apartment. So you're kind of at this little middle ground point. Go over to Shima. You hear the gunshots go off. You're pinned beneath this altar. Both of you have just lost sanity, so remember that. So like you're panicking to a certain degree. You're being attacked not by just regular birds, but birds that have these rows and rows of teeth coming out of their breasts, their wings. You can see eyes popping up in places they shouldn't. You can see one of the beaks that comes out has these tiny little mouths along the side of it, and they're all cawing and sort of pecking away at you. So Shima, what do you do?
Do I have to go inside the house to get to the fire escape, or is the fire escape?
Fire escape's on the outside. Yeah, fire escape's on the outside. You do need to make we'll call it a strength test to try to push out
Right.
from underneath the altar, though.
So the intention is to get out of the altar and yell for Pastor Wood to run towards the fire escape, and I'm making my way to the fire escape.
Okay, give me a strength test. And we won't apply any kind of penalty die because it's not an attack. You're just trying to get out from under it, so you're good.
Come on, roll well.
Oh no!
86
6 luck though.
over 80.
You can spend. Luck.
Oh yeah, okay, then yes, I will spend 6 luck.
So I'll say with a regular success, what we'll say is you basically can push the altar off of you, stand up, and take a step or 2 in the direction. But with just a regular success, I'm going to say that it's much harder than you thought it was going to be. But you still do get up. You're no longer pinned, and you're a couple steps closer to the fire escape. Top of the round. These things are still swarming all over the place up here. And they will...
Jeff, can I have yelled that to Password?
Of course.
That I'm
going
to the fire escape? Like, that's my plan.
Of course. Absolutely. Okay. New round. New combat round. So if anybody... If you're counting combat round 2, they continue to swarm. I'm going to split their attacks again. I'm going to start with Pastor Wood. I'm going to attack you. You want to dodge? You want to fight back?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were asking. Yeah, I'm dodging.
Okay. Go for it. Roll your dodge.
69. Nice. My dodge is 65. I'll spend the 4 luck to take it. No, you're rolling lower.
It's just 4.
Yeah, but if you rolled a hard success, it's wasted 4.
I mean, I don't know if there's the rules in me having to tell you, but I will tell you if you spend the 4, you will not take damage.
All right. Thanks for being nice.
Little behind the scenes information because I look at people's character sheets. Steven is sitting right at 30 luck and he's in a combat. So
I'm not at 30 anymore.
Second attack. Do you want to fight back?
No.
Okay. Second attack hits. And they start pecking away. 23 on my roll. 2 more points of damage as they start biting and pecking away. Third attack on Pastor Wood. Guys, I don't know what the fuck's going on. That's my third one. I swear to God.
No.
I am not lying. I wish you could see this so you know that I'm not lying. I swear to God, that is my third critical success.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
roll
I'm
ones
right
with weighted
then.
dice.
Because I called the King Yellow possessed your dice, and I'm pretty sure that's what we're saying.
I am using my Delta Green dice for today.
Yeah.
Normally I don't. I'm using my Delta Green dice for Call of Cthulhu, so I had to switch them out. But that's a natural 1. And I'm going to continue using the Delta Green dice from here on out. Oh my goodness. Pastor
we would
Wood.
respectfully request for a dice change.
2 more points of damage. 2 more points of damage. It's not a ton of damage each hit. So you're not really at risk for like major wounds, but they are chipping and chipping and chipping.
Yeah,
Shima,
less than half.
I don't want to leave you out. So they're attacking. You want to dodge? You want to try to fight back? What would you like to do?
I'm gonna try and dodge.
Okay.
Like towards the fire escape and get close.
Give me a dodge roll. We'll see how it goes. If you critically fail, you're gonna leap towards the fire escape, miss it, and go. Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
Yeah. 17 hard success does in fact dodge out of them. You avoid the first attack. Second attack on Shima. Do you want to fight back?
I'll fight back this time.
Okay. Go ahead and roll brawl. As you try to swing away at these things, you're just kind of like trying to grab birds and break their necks. And 85 on 85 is a success. I failed, so that's good for you. Roll your damage. As you do manage to grab one and just like crunch it in your bare hand.
It's my hand.
How's the Osborne it?
I don't know if you want to eat these. You bite into this tooth.
Well, Pastor Wood wouldn't do it, but you know.
Oh fuck! Sorry.
Just roll damage. 1d3 plus 1d4.
Sorry.
Because you get your damage bonus. 2 points. Okay.
I mean,
right.
Also rolling ones, just not the time that you want to be rolling.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm clutch for Jeff.
Third attack on Shima. Okay. Shima, you want to continue fighting back? If you do it again, it's going to be at a penalty die, though. You're going to have to add a penalty die to your roll.
No, I'll just take... You know what? Yeah, sure, I might just fucking...
Yeah, go for it. I can't believe I rolled 3 natty ones.
That's crazy.
In this
That's
combat.
crazy.
Okay.
It's a fail with an 87.
All right. I rolled
Good
a
luck.
hard success. I rolled a hard success on mine.
Actually, yeah. Could I?
You would need to get...
if I-
Yeah, you would need to get to an extreme success for this to be effective because I rolled a hard success. And so an extreme success for you would be spending 70 luck to be able to. Yeah, so you're going to take this one, unfortunately. That's not bad. I mean, like 3 attacks, you only get hit by 1. That's pretty good. And only 1 point of damage.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
All right.
So pretty good turn. Pastor comes back around to you, mind racing, blood coming from all these different scrapes and pecks and all sorts of things. What would you like to do?
I got 3 more shots in my revolver. I'm gonna use them.
Okay, you go right ahead. I will do my usual
28 under 85.
All right, that's definitely a hit.
That's not quite the extreme. Yeah, just hard.
Okay, still good.
12 under 85. That one's extreme.
Nice, that's 2.
And then 46, which is just a regular success.
That's
so 3
hits.
successes.
3 successes, and they all go
I hit
through.
all three. All 3 successes.
Yeah. One, you continue to just start firing and picking one off here, one off there. Maybe one bullet takes out 2, just kind of goes through one and then the other. Maybe one falls to the ground. You clip with the wing. And you just like stomp on it with your boot.
4 damage.
Okay.
12 damage.
12.
I rolled a
Whoa.
10 on that one.
Well, that's awesome.
And then 7.
Okay. I'll tell you this. It's not just 3 or 4 that you've been taking out. You're firing, and you're like the bullets are like hitting 2 at once. A few of them you can see as you're backing, maybe you're like elbowing, slamming them against the wall or stepping on them if they go to sit. So it's more than just 1 or 2. You have significantly reduced the size of the flock, but there is a decent chunk left still. But you have significantly reduced it. Shaima, your turn.
I am going to the fire escape.
Okay.
That is what I'm
All right.
still trying to do.
Run over to the fire escape and you start climbing down, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say
Yelling for Pastor Wood the whole fucking time.
you're just
There's
running.
gunshots going off. He's not quite able to hear.
And there's the squawking. All these birds are just kind of continuing to squawk and squawk and squawk. But you do make it to the fire escape. It is an exterior fire escape, so you are in fact being followed by the birds, but nonetheless you are on the fire escape working your way down. And it is their turn. I'm gonna say I'm gonna roll, since you all are separated at this point, I'm gonna see where the flock truly does go in terms of its number. Okay, and they will follow Shaima down. Maybe it's because Pastor Wood keeps killing them. Maybe it's because he's continuing to fire bullets at them. But you can see they start like as the corpses of these birds begin to mount at the feet of Pastor Wood. They follow Shaima down the fire escape, and they're gonna take their attacks. Same deal. It's a new combat round. Do you want to try to dodge? I'm going to say we're on a fire escape, so all dodging in here, it's a tight quarters. I'm going to say penalty die on any dodge that you do. There's just not enough space to move.
I'm going to try and fight back.
Okay, give it a go. Give us that roll. How'd you do? We talk about
56 under
You got
85.
it.
56 is a success. I failed, so you can actually roll your damage as they continue to follow you down. Yeah.
Break his neck. Break his neck.
Whoa, Melissa, calm down.
So bloodthirsty.
Violence is a last resort. What are you talking about? These are birds. They've been abused. You're just terrible.
Sorry, man.
Oh,
That's okay.
Jesus
It's 1d3 plus 1d4 because you got 1d3 for the
Yeah,
and then plus your
For some reason.
Oh, I thought it was your attack.
No,
I was about the
just
number, not
misrolled.
what you rolled.
I just misrolled.
Okay. Okay, 2 more points.
Do again.
You managed
yet
to
again. Roll
you
2
managed to
ones.
swing at one.
Your luck today.
I can't roll for shit.
Another attack on you. Do you want to continue to fight back?
Yeah.
Penalty die to do so. Oh, baby, that's a good roll. Here we go. This is the good roll.
Sorry.
It's not a natural one, I'll tell you that, though. That's still pretty good.
Oh man.
Okay.
48 though.
Okay. I rolled an extreme success, so you would need. So yeah, you're gonna get hit. Since you're fighting back, you need to beat it. So yeah, you will get hit with this one.
Okay.
Okay. So there's no amount
Sorry,
of luck you would be able to
48.
spend.
So what do I need to get down to for an extreme?
You would have to.
You need
can't.
to beat what I rolled.
Oh, I
I
see.
rolled an extreme,
Sorry.
and you can't spend luck to beat an extreme. Oops, that's
Because
cocked.
Jeff only rolls ones today.
So do
And
I.
my trick
3
only
times.
rolls once today.
3 times. 1 more point of damage, and then the third attack. Do you want to keep fighting back? It's going to be 2 penalty die this time.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay. So 2 penalty die.
Can I try and dodge this time?
You can only do one. Well, you can do 1 dodge per combat round. You didn't dodge initially, so yeah, you can go ahead and try to dodge. I'm still gonna say because it's the stair. You're on the stairs. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, good. I critically feel.
That's not a crit fail.
It's not a
because you have an 84% in dodge. It's not a critical fail for you.
If it would have been 100, Delta Green.
If it would have been 100, I would have had Shima go over the edge, 9 stories down.
I would have.
Okay.
Gosh.
So yeah, it's gonna get another hit on you. I got a regular success on mine, and it's 2 more points of damage pecking away at you. The good news is Pastor Wood, they don't attack you. You can see most of them have followed Shima down. What would you like to do, Pastor Wood, as you are still atop the patio? You're by a bunch of dead birds, a bunch of bird cages. You have these 2 bags in your hand and 1 arm. You've got the gun in the other. To reload it, you would need to put some stuff down. It's going to take some time for you to reload. That's probably your entire turn. And you probably can't even run and catch up with her and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know.
I'm rereading the rules, too, as we're playing. It would be two rounds. I can put in 2
you can put in 2
bullets
shots
per round. I don't think that makes sense. I do have my backup 32 that I've been carrying around.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it makes sense that I'd be able to draw and keep firing. So I think what I would do is that I would holster my 44 and start moving towards the edge, towards the fire escape to follow Shima.
Okay.
And as I'm doing that, I would start fumbling for my 32 to pull it out for the next round.
Okay, so we'll leave you still on the roof, looking down the fire escape, fumbling for your weapon. I'll say you can take the weapon out. That's fine. Just no firing this round. You still have the bags in your hands, or like tucked underneath your arm. You can see that Shima has made it down 1 story. She's around the 9th story, and she is swarmed by, albeit a smaller flock. It is still a decently large flock. Shima, it is your turn. What would you like to try to do?
Continue to head down.
Yeah, so I'm going to say because we're now on the fire escape and you're trying to kind of move your way down in a way while still getting harassed, we're going to make this a climb check to see your progress. Like you're going to make you're always going to make a little bit. It's just a question of whether you make a ton or whether you make just a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I take an audience size to make that?
Unless you wanted to jump. But if you try to jump and you fail.
No. 9 flights. Maybe when you're down to
Are you saying she could succeed at that jump?
Right.
She could jump to the 8th floor.
Well,
okay, give me that roll.
1 audience size, please.
Got it. Roll under 55.
Oh, here we go. 17. That's a
17.
hard
there
success.
We go. Turning it around. Thank you.
I'll say you make it for hard success because I see 2 stars on our foundry. I'll say you make it down two stories. So you're down essentially. You go through the 8th. You're down to the 7th. That's how we'll play it. Okay. Top of the round. This means that currently the birds have a choice of following Shima down 2 flights, or they can just turn back to Pastor Wood, who is right above them. I think that's only fair, as Pastor Wood is much closer, and so they're gonna turn up and they're gonna peck away at Pastor Wood. I'll say though,
why'd you start rolling well?
I'll say because they have to move. Because they have to move, I'm not going to give them all 3 of their attacks. I'm going to say I'm only going to give them like 2 of their attacks because they had to move a little.
I'm dodging on the first one.
Go ahead and roll. If you crit fail, you fall off the side of the building.
I just barely made my dodge. 65 on 65, right on the dot.
Okay, so you do manage to dodge out of the way. You kind of duck really fast, and they swarm right over your head. Maybe you start looking over the side, and you don't expect this sudden upsurge of these birds. Second attack. What would you like to do?
I'll start fighting back.
Okay. So go ahead.
Would this
and
be
swing.
brawl, or can I actually shoot?
No, we're gonna. It's a brawl, so you're gonna be basically hitting it with the gun.
36 under 61.
36 under 61. That's a success. I also wrote a success. So since you tied, you're good. You need to go up to a hard success.
For fighting back, I have to beat it. I would have to do hard. I didn't do hard. 61.
Okay, so they do hit. You're right.
I needed a 30. I suppose I could spend the 6th luck.
You're already under 30. You might as well.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll spend the 6th.
All right. You do manage to You do manage to kill a few more. Give me your damage. Roll damage.
So this one's a D8 instead of a D10 with no bonus.
Well, you're not shooting it. You're just smashing it. So I'll say unarmed is 1d3. So since you're hitting it with a gun, we'll say like 1d4.
And I don't have a damage bonus.
Yeah, so just straight up 1d4 then. We'll call it.
Maybe don't shoot a gun outside now that you're outside because you got to run away.
I've been outside this whole time.
He's been outside the whole time.
But like up on the roof, not like on the side of the building.
He's on the edge of the roof right now.
Yeah, I'm still on the roof still. 3.
3. Okay. You are tricky. I mean, they are. The flock is much smaller in number than they were when this started, but they are no less. They're still dangerous, but they're not as plentiful. And it is your turn. You dodged and you fought back. So any attack I think you do is going to be at a penalty. You're going to have a penalty die. But go right ahead.
Yeah, gonna go ahead and keep shooting, and I'm gonna specifically look for wherever our hotel would be on the city to look Marie right in the eye as I continue shooting at these birds. With the penalty die.
Much different battle. We'll check it in a second.
52 under 85. So that is a regular success.
All right, I do get one free thing with them. I fail. So yeah, give me damage. What you got?
I'm muted. 8. That's max damage.
Very nice. Okay, there's not that many left. You can actually probably, if you stopped and looked, you could probably start counting the number left. That's how.
I'm going to count as I keep shooting these clay pigeons because I don't get additional penalty die, so I'm going to just keep the one penalty die for all 3 attacks. That right?
Sounds good to me. Yeah, that sounds fair. Yeah, I have no idea if that's correct, but we're going to play it that way.
Well, it went from a 5 to a 15, so that's still an extreme success.
Well, Jeff, he cheats at his rolls. This guy's rolling 5s and 15s.
With penalty dice.
Give me your damage.
That's a 1. Karma came back.
All right. I'm just going to go ahead and put my pen down. I don't have to actually take any notes. And you got a third shot? This one also has three shots? Okay.
Yes. 29 or 29. I rolled 20s on penalty dice. I'll take pictures.
Wow. Okay. Give me your damage.
And a 3 on the damage.
Okay. I will write a very small reduction of numbers. Okay. Shaima, you can see that there's not that many birds around you anymore. So mechanically speaking, I'm saying the flock is now up with Pastor Wood, but narratively, there's probably still 1 or 2 that are trailing you, but they're not like actually attacking you. But you're free. You still hear gunshots going up. You look up and you can't actually see Pastor Wood because he hasn't stepped onto and started to climb down the fire escape just yet. You're on the 7th floor. Do you want to continue your way down?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a climb check with, since you're not being harassed now, with a bonus die. And this is just purely speed, like how far you progress. And you can have a penalty die because you're doing it kind of without the effect of these birds.
Okay. 52, that's a fail.
Okay, you can spend 7 to, say, kind of make more progress on a full story. Otherwise, maybe as you're looking up and waiting, like maybe you kind of stall a bit.
I could spend the luck. I would like to.
Sure, and you absolutely. It's only 7, so just go ahead and spend it. And we'll say you're about midway down the building at this point. You're about halfway down the fire escape. Let's hope this fire escape goes better than the Delta Green fire escape. Top of the round.
We can hope.
Top of the round. The birds are with Pastor Wood. But they are much. Well, I mean, you are a nectar addict, just like they are. So you probably do feel a little bit like 2 peas in a pod. Let me roll a test. Okay. You notice, Pastor Wood, as the last few that you just took out, the flock begins to sort of lift up and away, and you see it start to weave down past and through the bird cages and then kind of out the other side of the building, like they're fleeing the fight at this point. There were probably around 50 when it first arrived. But as they fly away, you can see that number has probably dwindled to about 10 It's probably a fifth of the size as it was before. But they don't attack you as they just start to squawk and try to flee. Comes to you. What would you like to do?
The smart thing to do would be to jump over the edge of the roof and start going down the fire escape.
I agree. Jumping over the edge of the roof would be a good idea, Pastor Wood.
I don't claim to be a smart person to start running yet. I'm going to hunker down and start reloading both of my revolvers. Just spend some time to start putting bullets in, just in case they come back to harass us again.
Okay. Shaima comes to you. You're midway down the building. You don't hear any shots anymore. You don't see Pastor Wood moving. You don't really have any birds around you at this point. You still just recently lost 3 points of sanity, so there's probably still some panic happening. But what would you like to do?
It's the loss of sanity that I'm really kind of thinking as her like panicking and trying to get away from this. So she's continuing to around. Which was in a better head state, she might go and check out on Pastor, but she hasn't.
We'll say you continue to descend, and you'll get to the bottom. That's not an issue. Like you race down, you're running once or twice. Maybe you look back up and you still see Pastor Wood's not following. Pastor Wood, we come back to you. The birds continue to fly away to the point where you can't really see them anymore. They're just these tiny little specks in the distance on the horizon, like these little black specks here and there on the blue sky. You don't see Shaima, but if you peer down, you can see she's basically reached the bottom of the building. You still have these two bags. Several gunshots have been fired at the top of a very affluent apartment building in Mexico City. You know that, police response time, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, but in this neighborhood, it's probably going to be closer to 10 minutes. So you don't have a ton of time.
I will start heading down the fire escape when I see that the birds aren't coming back.
Okay. Last thing I want from the two of you before we move on is I would like both of you to roll a stealth test. And I'm going to say, because you've kind of been panicking, I want both of them at penalty die. As you're racing down the fire escape, you're covered in blood. You've are covered in feathers and little bits and pieces of bird that have exploded on you. And you're trying to race back to your... didn't you guys have a taxi?
We did not rent a car, so yeah, it would have been a taxi.
Yeah. Did you tell the cab driver to stay?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So you're literally just running away from the building at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I rolled a 70 under 79.
Okay.
55 under 60.
Okay. Pretty good, honestly, the two of you. That you guys both managed to still pass your stealth test. And so I'm going to say the last thing we see of the two of you before we cut back, you got your bags of books and things. You're running through the alleyways and the streets. You are covered in blood and black feathers. Panic looks in your eyes. Pastor Wood, you might even still have a gun in your hand as you're running away. And you hear these vague shouts of people as you run away. And we'll go ahead and we're going to cut from there as you two survive, which is great. That's not a guarantee. And we're going to cut back to the room where we see Patrick Price, we see Marie, we see Beverly, and we see Gonchi, who has just told you when you asked him, why would he hire you to do it? And he's like, I am Gonchi del Toro. So I'll turn it back over to you, to the three of you. You still, it's, we'll say middle of the afternoon, 2-3 o'clock, something like that. What do you guys do? What do you guys want to say to him or do?
All right, Senor Gonchi. If you're as great as you say you are, maybe we can help you out.
He turns towards you. He raises a bit of an eyebrow. That's the wrong, hang on. That is the absolute wrong one. There we go. That's the better one. He turns
it was a good
towards you.
transition though, from the shooting and everything.
Yeah. Like suddenly we're in a club. So he turns towards you. Is that the right one? No, that's not the right one. Hang on. Third tries the charm. It's okay. Turns towards Patrick and his eyebrow raises. What do you have in mind?
Well, we can't disclose the location of Victor as he's under our protection. And if you want to get out of
this,
if you want to get out of under Jonathan's wing, maybe you can help us. See, we've been sent here on the trail of these records, this drug. I'm sure you've heard of it. We call it nectar.
You definitely see recognition in his face. And at the mention of nectar, I know of this. It is Brooks's main income. That's right. I did not like it. I would rather spend my money on cigarettes. Do you mind? As he pulls one out.
No.
So yes, he looks towards Patrick. Continue.
You can be a sort of a double agent for us. Tell us where you've seen Brooks. Maybe what he's up to as men. You aren't really safe until he's taken care of.
Takes a long drag. Stares at Patrick, looks at Marie, looks at Bev. I agree with much of what you said. I agree I am not safe until something is done. But if you are looking for where Mr. Brooks and Konovalov are hiding, I cannot help you. You see, I am not a trusted friend. My understanding is that he has very few trusted friends remaining. A paranoid man. But he has gone to ground. My arrangement was I would do my circuit. I would observe the locales that he tasked me with observing. I would bring messages to his home, and then his people would pick them up. I have not met face to face with Mr. Brooks for quite a while. I've heard that he has found somewhere to hide. Now, I am not sure where this is, but I can be sure that he has not left Coyoacán. Leticia, she loves this place. She would not leave, and he, for all his problems, is quite devoted to her. So, I can put my ear to the ground. But this is not information I currently have.
You mentioned Leticia. You have seen her of late?
Not for quite some time. Her days of singing in the clubs are apparently over. I know that she has still been recording music, but no longer does she share it live in front of an audience. I will say that the last time I saw her, she wore a veil. She stood on top of the stage in La Paz. And
this is a photo of her. Did she look like this?
Ah, yes, that is Leticia. Well, that is what you can see. And so you show like the photo, like the scarred up photo. That those are her eyes, her forehead, her hair, her chin. And you can tell like the photo is like all scratched up. But he does confirm that of what you can see of her, it is definitely her. But he does say that the last time I saw her, she wore a veil. She stood on the stage in La Paz. She sang a very unsettling song. It seemed to instill odd feelings in some within the audience. But when she was finished,
Mr. Brooks and his people quickly hurried her away. I am not a friend of Leticia, but I am familiar with her work, and I have spoken with her before, but not recently, no.
Do you not have concerns for her safety with this man? She was in the public eye. She sang in various locations, and now she is covered with a veil and kept away from the public. Is this not concerning?
Is it concerning? Of course it is. There are many concerning things. I am concerned enough to ensure that a woman that I saw wandering the streets of Mexico City and then collapsing on a park bench, bleeding to death. I was concerned enough to act then. But there is a limit to what I am able to do. You are aware. I saw you coming from the manufacturing facility. I assume you know what happened to Jorge Novo. I have heard too that Brooks is very adamant that those who work for him are loyal to him. But my sense is that they are more loyal to Leticia than they are to him. And I have heard that those who betray him, those who do not complete the tasks that he sets them on, kind of holds up his hand. He takes trophies from them. What he does with them, I do not know. But
And Marie just sort of looks over to Patrick as the hand is held up. And yes, my goodness, we saw the wreckage at Novo. That was absolutely awful.
Sorry, I had a little bit of an echo there. Say it again.
We saw what happened at Novo. That was absolutely awful. That poor man.
yes,
You speak of colleagues. Have you heard of someone named Dominguez?
Dominguez. Well, Dominguez is a very common name. I might know a Dominguez, I might not know a Dominguez.
And you can tell, like, I'm rolling your psychology over from before. Like, this is where that's kind of coming through. Like, you can tell, like, it's more of a give. Like, he's been being friendly and offering, but like he's kind of still withholding, right? And you see like a little turn of his mouth as it grins a little bit when he takes his smoke.
And he's just like, there are many Dominguezes in Mexico. Many.
Bev pulls out her own cigarette and she starts to smoke along with him.
He'll lean forward, he'll strike a match, and he'll go ahead and light that for you.
Accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll take a long puff and look thoughtfully before cocking her head to the side. What exactly do you want from us?
So he takes his smoke.
Well, as I said, Mr. Brooks is very disapproving of those who do not complete tasks. And I know that he is even more more disapproving of those who abandon them altogether, as we all are aware, again, of Mr. Jorge Novo. Were I to stop reporting to him that which I have observed and learned and seen about those who have come to explore his various properties, then I would be abandoning my tasks. And then it might be my fingers that adorn whatever strange concoction he uses to display them. And I very much like my fingers. So, what can you offer me? No, it's very simple. A way out, or a way to rid Coyoacan of a very affluent, greedy, paranoid white man from America. Are either of these things something you might be able to offer?
Yes.
Of course we can.
Well then, perhaps we can work together after all.
We're on the tail hooks of Jonathan already. We have a meeting with Javier. I think he's our next in.
Luna himself. Oh, how very nice. He has kept his head down. The whole band. I hear they did not play last week at La Paz. They must be quite nervous.
I hear they're showing up
Rightfully so.
tonight at La Paz.
Are they now? And you go to meet them?
Have a little chat. Maybe follow him back.
Well, I can offer you a small tidbit of information that I happen to know. If it would help you.
Anything.
I happen to know the sister of one of those in the band. We are friendly.
And he remembers where he's at.
Oh, I beg your pardon, ma'ams. And I happen to have heard that they, the band, was taken briefly into a recording session recently. But it was not at Lose Records. It was not at the Penthouse. It was not at any location that I am aware of. So, I would surmise that perhaps these Javier Luna and his grinning fools might be exactly who you need to speak to find out where Mr. Brooks has been hiding these days. I also know that they are, well, they are leveraged. They have taken the gig for working for Brooks because they spent so much money over their time trying to manufacture their big break. If perhaps you might be able to help them with some of that leveraging, they would not need the money from Brooks anymore. And they might be more inclined to tell you what they know.
The more people we take out from Brooks, easier we can get to take out a support group.
It is very useful when you go into conversations, negotiations even, to know more information than you let on, so that you can move and maneuver that conversation in the direction that you want it to go. Perhaps you will be able to do this tonight with Javier.
Good tidbit. You are pretty great here, Ganji.
I am Conchi del Toro.
Did you guys give? I know. He's got Bev's name, but did you guys give him the rest of your names? Like Marie, did you
Yeah, I would have
introduce
told him.
yourself?
Call me
Okay.
Patrick as we started talking.
Okay.
And if that does not work, I will continue to inquire. I have some connections with the policia. Perhaps they might know a thing or two. And if I find something else, I know where it is you are staying. And I can come knock on your door. Yes?
Perhaps we should get some contact information since Brooks also knows where we're staying. Yes?
Yes, I was actually going to recommend that perhaps you could give us a hand relocating, as you were so kind to let us know that you have tipped off Mr. Brooks to our location. seems unwise to remain at said location.
You would like a recommendation for another place to stay?
Oh no. Just a little help carrying suitcases. And she sort of gestures down to her and Bev's sort of injured state. That might be the
He thinks about that for a
gentlemanly
minute.
support.
I presume I can do this. But of the other two, they are not here.
Yeah, they went to, I think, a library, looking into some things.
Yes. Certainly they did.
I must ask, if you took the time to sit here and chat with us, do you have a compatriot who is following our friends?
It's a very astute question.
And he just pulls another cigarette out and lights the second one and never answers.
So will you be telling Mr. Brooks of our conversation with you today?
Well, Mrs. Bev, I will be honest with you. I like you. You all are very exciting. I have been looking at those buildings for several days, and it's been very easy money, but very, very boring. And then you all show up and make things so much more interesting. So as reward, I will wait. I delivered my piece of information yesterday. I am not under obligation to report every day. But if I go 2 days without delivering a report, that will prove suspicious. And I might receive a visit from Gnovolov. And he is a very real prick.
Oh my, such language, sir.
Yes, but accurate nonetheless.
Is Konovalov someone who was local here, or do we know where he arrived from?
He is Russian. He arrived with Brooks, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but what I have learned of him is that he is a capitalist. He is not a money is very important to him. So
Sure.
should the opportunity arise to speak with him, you would be speaking with not a zealot, but not a lapdog, but someone who thinks for himself. However, he thinks in pesos.
That is a handy tip. You raise another point. So how long has it been that Mr. Brooks has become a plague on Mexico City?
He has been here for a few years now, but it is only over the past year that things have started to turn. Since he has worked with Leticia, his drug trade has funded him, and for a long while, it would show up. He would have these guerrilla fiestas, these small parties here, there, word of mouth, a broadside in one of the circuits, advertising where it might be. And that is the only place that you could find his drug, this nectar. But something has gone wrong, I think, because we have not had one of those fiestas in quite some time. I suspect that possibly he might be having trouble with supply. No one quite knows where he gets his product from. But considering he is not selling it, considering We do not see it proliferating around the city. I wonder if perhaps he is having trouble. The walls closing in. This is all just theory.
This is quite interesting. And she sort of looks over to Dr. Key to see if she had any other inquiries. Over to Patrick.
I think we're good here. If anything reminds you of Dominguez, let us know.
He'll reach in to his jacket. He'll pull out a little card, and you can see that there is what looks to be like a phone number on it. And he'll hand it over to you.
If something comes to mind that I need to know, you may leave a message at that number. I most likely will not answer it, but I will check it regularly. And if I have something I need from you, well, I am Conchita Toro.
And then he gets up, kind of puts the last cigarette out in the ashtray right next to Bev's nightstand, kind of gives her a little bit of a wink, and then starts to walk out. As he opens the door, he'll stop, he'll turn back, and he'll look at you all.
One final tip. If you do find yourselves at the home of Mr. Brooks, do not mess with his birds. They are not a pleasant bird.
He kind of shudders, and then
Sorry,
he closes.
Did you say birds? Did you say birds?
Yes.
Oh dear. Well,
Collects
thank
them,
you for the warning.
controls them. I do not know. Perhaps it is how he delivers messages to folks. I am not certain. All I know is that I am quite certain those trophies he takes, at least some, are nibbled on by those creatures.
Oh my. Oh my.
He puts his ill-fitting fedora on. He steps out into the hall, turns around. You can say something if you want.
Thank you, Mr. Del Toro. We've appreciated your candor. And she just sort of looks at him in that way of like highlighting candor, but sort of letting him know that she knows that he's not necessarily been entirely forthright.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate your candor.
He also saved your life.
Yeah,
Don't forget
I mean,
that.
she's not being mean, just sort of a little, we both know what's been happening.
He gives you a grin. This is a guy who he's flop sweating like crazy. He's got a comb. He's not like the most intimidating or suave looking man, but he's got an attitude, you know? And then he just says, adios, and closes the door. So, you guys have some moments to yourselves, the three of you, if there's anything you wanted to say, but we can flash forward here in a minute. But is there anything that the three of you...
Bev just takes like a couple really long drags as she looks quietly at Patrick and then at Marie and just states, I don't know if we fucked up confiding in him or not, but our bed's been made. We better think of something that he has to report within a day or so, or otherwise this conversation probably will be reported, and that is not good for us.
Well, there are certain circumstances when we use each other for our own purposes, and he certainly gave us some information to consider. But I was starting to get a little comfortable in these rooms, but it seems unwise to remain here, yes?
Definitely. I think maybe we should make it a habit, if we survive Mexico, to, just like we survived LA by the skin of our teeth, maybe to not stay at one place for so long.
Yes, this happened quite quickly that we were noted. And it does raise a bit of an alarm when I thought that he was the individual that was shooting at us. I do still believe that this raises a question as to who was shooting at us, if it was Konovalov's men shooting at us, or if it was indeed others from Los Angeles that have come down.
Or it could have just been another private investigator hired. Why would Brooks put all of his eggs in one basket when he has the money to just pit people against each other to make sure that they stay truthful?
Clearly, I certainly do not want to be walking here and run into Pisner.
God forbid. And she takes another long drag, and then she slowly gets out of bed and starts to shove shit in her luggage.
Okay.
I do hope that the other two return soon so that we can make our escape.
Cue transition. Okay, so we'll say that the three of you start packing up your things. That's fine. And I will say that, again, rolling over that psychology test, I will say that you never got the sense that he ever outright lied to you at any point. But at the same time, you never got the sense that he was fully honest with you at any point. So you got the sense of a guy who's trying to maybe play both sides of it and see his best route out. Like, it's definitely the vibe you would get. So let's cut back then to Pastor Wood and Shima, who have been running away from Brooks's apartment and carrying these books. Both of you give me let's go a con test. Give me a constitution test. As you see how far you get. Because I'm assuming like you're panic, you're just kind of running and running and running.
Success with the 54 under 70.
Nice.
Pastor Wood's an old man.
Yeah.
His con is 50, and he rolled a 97.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, thank goodness it was 50.
I will say then, if that's the case, you get maybe 2 blocks away from the hotel, Pastor Wood, before you just need to stop. Like, you're breathing too heavily. Shima,
Knees are aching.
You look back and you can see as you turn down this dusty alleyway off the main street where there are many people walking. And there is no way you probably weren't seen by at least some onlooker, right? But you turn down this alleyway, you turn back, you see Pastor Wood is like stumbling into the alleyway. And he's got blood, he's got sweat, he's breathing really heavily. And he just kind of does one of those classic kind of stop against the wall, kind of puts his hand on the wall. Just breathes. Takes a couple more steps, breathes, and he just needs a break.
Yeah. I'd like to say at this point, the overwhelming sense of panic has probably died down in Shama, so she has enough sense to go to Pastor Wood and jog on him and just for better or for worse, like, she's seen her teammates on the wrestling team be like really fucked up, and she knows what has worked before is putting a hand on their chest and just kind of guiding them through breathing.
He immediately steps back as soon as you touch his chest.
She will
hold on now. I'm fine. I need to.
Pastor,
first aid is what it is, and I start fumbling for my handkerchief, and I'm like trying to
Please stop talking. Just breathe. Just breathe.
I'm breathing fine. Damn it.
Just for like a minute, and then you can do whatever you want.
I just need to get these bandaged up.
I'm gonna hold him up against the wall if I need to, but I'm sorry, Steven.
Just punch him in the gut.
This is what happens when Steven gets more confidence. It doesn't work out for people.
Let me help you.
I would like to be trying to perform first aid, though.
Absolutely.
Trying to bandage up.
I think we're still within that window where we could just do some first aid if you wanted to do on yourselves, because I know both of you lost some damage. So you take a moment, try to patch yourselves up in this alley. You know you can't stay here for too long, but you could probably stay here for a couple minutes to get yourselves situated. So first aid roll. This will give you 1 HP back if successful. And it's got to be delivered with a 1 hour, which this very much is.
It looked like an 11, but the die was kind of cocked, so I rerolled it and I got a 41. So I think.
Okay. So you can spend luck on this. It is just a skill check. Looking at Shima's, you're pretty far away. It probably wouldn't make sense just for 1 HP. Pastor, what about you?
Fail.
Okay. You are both suffering from what looks like each of you has like a dozen little tiny stab wounds from the beaks, all sorts of these bite marks and such that don't look like they are from birds. And you both know, like, you have the visions in your mind and your memory of those tiny little mouths. And I know that you both saw at some point those small mouths that just sort of manifested on inanimate objects and such within the Trammell Mansion, and they definitely gave you that vibe. But every time you go and kind of stem the bleeding out of one cut, you kind of find another, and so it's kind of one of those types of things where it just feels like you can't keep it at bay. I'll say maybe 10 minutes go by with you all doing this before, Pastor Wood, you catch your breath back. What are the two of you doing? Neither. I want to stress, you both look terrible. Your clothes are torn, blood everywhere. You're carrying two not even, like, we've been using the term pillowcase, which is probably an unfair term because I think you stabbed the couch and ripped the coat of that pillow. So it's like, doesn't even look like a pillowcase.
An inverted mattress cushion.
Yeah. And you just came from 2 blocks away, and you're in a nice neighborhood, and that was a nice house, and there's a bunch of gunshots. So at some point, someone absolutely called the cops. So what do you do? How do you get back to wherever it is you want to go next?
Shima would like to go back to the hotel, and her response is always the most direct one, so she's just trying to get back to the hotel as fast as possible. Okay,
so if fast as possible, do you want to try to get a taxi? I can try to find a cab.
Yeah, I mean, if that's if Password is willing to pay for it, because Sherman doesn't have any way.
Pastor Wood's out of money too, because we didn't find any.
Right.
The good news is that it's not much at all to get a taxi. It's
even Shima can afford a taxi.
If it's affordable for Sharma, then yes.
I think it's less than your shoe dollar.
You did keep that. I didn't let you give it away.
That is true. Your shoe dollar would get you there.
Oh, that as long as I can.
And that's why you put it in the shoe. That emergency money.
While you can afford it, what are your luck scores right now?
Not good. 20.
20.
Yeah,
okay.
Mine is also 41.
41. Pastor Wood, please, as the lower of the luck, roll a luck test to see if anyone will actually pick up the two of you looking as you do on the side of the street. You look like trouble.
Probably not.
32.
32. Okay. You go kind of back out the alley, you get on this main street, and you see a taxi or two, you kind of wave, and they just drive past. You can see one car after a few minutes slows down, like they're about to pull over, but then drives away at this point. A few people walk past you on the sidewalk or on the street. They look at you and they kind of stare you up and down, and they mutter something. Pastor, do you see one or two of them just kind of do like a little cross symbol, like an old grandmother kind of moving across the street when they look at the sight of the two of you? But you find yourselves unable to hail down a taxi. No one wants to stop for you people.
Let them walk.
Okay.
If Busward needs the physical assistance, we'll offer that.
Well, I mean, I'm capable of walking. Like, don't put me in the wheelchair just yet.
What we'll say is,
got my retirement home picked out.
Yeah, actually.
We already bought a plot of land to put your corpse in there. We got you.
Wow. Wow.
I just said in
Harsh.
chat, Ashley has been on fire in chat with the sass today.
It's funny. He plays Pastor like he's ancient, and then like his age.
He does
I'm
the
like,
same thing with
Steven.
Vin in Delta Green, where he's like playing him as an old man, and like you're 47 or something like that. What are you doing? You're like, no, you're not. You're 65. I put it down. You're 65 as Vin. Comment in the chat. Let us know. What age should Pastor Wood? What age do you think he's been playing Pastor Wood as? That's what I would like to know.
I
Okay,
have
so
a
we'll,
specific age written on the character sheet too.
just because you wrote on the
It's
character
53.
sheet doesn't mean any of us believe it.
Don't give it away.
No, it isn't.
For 30 years, my grandmother said she was 21 all the time, and like she ain't 21. So, all right. What we'll say is,
When it's 53, like that's
He's
blowing
60
my
some. Well, he does have like
It's
a teen
been a
kid,
hard
so I guess.
50 years though. Like,
He
you
had a
know,
kid
he
late.
was.
What's the age difference between you and Carmela?
I don't think it's much. I haven't assumed it's much. I think
So
she's
you had-
late 40s.
Okay, so she was probably in her mid 30s when you had Obi.
Obi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
okay.
got married later.
All right. Here's what we'll say. You guys failed your luck test. You were unable to hail down a taxi, but you're able to walk back. Between the two of you, I'll say you're able to find your way back to the hotel. It takes a little time. Make some wrong turns. Maybe you get some directions. Some people don't want to give you directions because you look so terrible. But eventually you find yourselves back at the hotel. But at this point, it's evening time. So the whole afternoon is effectively wasted as you all are on foot getting your way back. When you get up to the floor, or when you get up to your floor, the third floor in the Casa de los Sueños, now that I finally can say it, you guys are changing hotels. It's so annoying. So you can see that your three compatriots have packed up their belongings. And Marie and Bev and Patrick, you see Pastor Wood and Shaima coming up the stairs, going into their, walking down the hall. I'll say you guys have, and like they're all covered in blood and dust and feathers and like carrying pillowcases. They look absolutely atrocious. What do you guys do? You guys, oh God, they hate Pastor Wood so much. Are you kidding? You accosted like half of them when you were on Nectar. All right. Go ahead.
About the library.
Yes, actually, there was trouble at the library, and
It's
so
true.
we went to Mr. Brooks's house, and then there was even more trouble there.
We're in the hallway. Please go clean up. We have overstayed our welcome, and we need to find new accommodations.
Dr. Key, can you hold this? And I just hand her the mattress case full of crap.
Okay. So
And she probably can't, and so it drops to the
No.
ground.
she got shot
Mr. Price,
yesterday.
Mr.
Has a
Price,
concussion.
can you please?
Yeah, someone
what do you have
will
here?
shove the other bag at him too, and then go to her room.
I just cleaned up. We have a party to attend.
Pastor Wood would go into his room and be out within 30 seconds. He ripped off his shirt. He did prepare more for this trip. He brought more than one shirt. So he's putting on his fresh shirt and he's going down to the concierge asking them to call a cab because he needs to go to a clinic.
Okay. You want to go to a hospital?
Yeah, I took a lot of damage there. I'd like to get a couple.
Okay. So are you not going to go then to the club to meet Elena and Javier Luna and his grinning fools?
I think likely not.
Okay. So Patrick will be the one who's able to make the connections.
Pastor Wood is pretty angry.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I think that's
You have more health than Marie does.
I enjoy how Melissa's character gets shot twice. Beverly gets shot once and then gets a bad concussion. Pastor Wood gets pecked by a couple birds. I gotta go to the hospital.
I took
Everyone
11 points of damage from those damn birds. Okay,
But not all at once.
Really? Well,
do they have
I
Jello
took
in Mexican hospitals?
14 points of damage
Yeah,
from gunshots.
You guys are pretty rough. Okay. Pastor Wood, you very easily can get a cab, and it will more than happy to get you the hell out of their hotel and get you driven over to the clinic. Not an issue. That's fine. The rest of you, Pastor Wood just ditches you guys Marie, Bev, Patrick, while you're waiting for Shaima to clean up and get changed, you have these 2 bags of things. Do you go through them, or do we put this off until after your meeting with Elena? It's still, again, it's still
did tell you this was from Mr. Brooks' apartment. She didn't specifically say hidden room, but she said Mr. Brooks' apartment.
I'll take a look in the bag, but then seeing all his papers and books, I'll just shove it into luggage.
Yeah. So I'll just to give you a quick, I mean, it's a lot of reading, basically. So you got a couple letters, a couple basic reports and things, an album, what looks like a rolled up charcoal sketch, and it looks like a couple photographs and some books. And that's essentially what you have packed away. And then whatever other odds and ends you might have thrown in there. Oh, the medicine vial, but not the one that Pastor Wood has. So all of those things are probably in the bags. Okay. So let me ask then the 4 of you, since Pastor Wood has already gone to the hospital, just in terms of order of operations, you got these things to go through. You've got a meeting with Elena and Javier and Hernando, and you've got to change hotels. So walk me through the order of operations then. What are you doing first? What are you doing second? All this kind of stuff.
I think let's get a new place so we have somewhere to go.
Okay.
And then attend Laplace.
Okay. So we'll say then you go through the process of checking out. That's not an issue. Then we'll say that you look around, and again, by the time you check out, it's the tail end of sunset. It'll be dark probably within the next 20-30 minutes. You know that the night crowd, I would say, Patrick, since you've been to La Paz, you know that the night crowd kind of shuffles in around 6 or so. And so they've likely already started. It doesn't mean that she's not there. It just means they've likely started within the last hour. In terms of another hotel, there are a couple. Do you want to stay in the Coyoacán district, or do you want to go outside of the district?
Stay within.
Okay.
Agreed.
So it's like this artsy neighborhood where a lot of, not everything, but a lot of stuff has been going down. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So say if that's the case, it's probably another hour between you driving over there, checking in, getting rooms, and then heading back out. Now, in terms of all of these clues and things that you collected, do you bring them with you in the car that you rented, or do you leave them behind in your hotel?
That's a good question.
I'm not taking anything.
I imagine we'd probably leave it in the hotel, Bev, because we've got that lockbox that we've been putting some stuff in. So I think we
don't know if all of this new stuff would fit in the lockbox.
No,
fair point.
Not a chance.
Fair point. Yeah. I think it would stay in the hotel. If we're going to a club scene, I don't know that we'd be able to really grab all of the stuff with us. So.
Okay. So, do you try to? The hotel you go to, it's not like you're going to a seedy, terrible hotel. It's another boutique hotel, the kind of the ones that you have. I'll find a name for one in a minute. I don't have it immediately off the top of my head. But it'll be in a similar style, similar neighborhood, kind of similar vibe. If you're looking to hide it, if you're looking to try to kind of keep it obscure, if there's anything like that, you can maybe put it in a...
Yes, we would.
Okay. All right, so Marie, if you want, give me a stealth test to hide it. And let me know how you do.
We've had a generous audience today, so I'm going to take one so that this is a 50-50.
Before you roll, whoever's got the highest stealth can do this, by the way, of the 4 of you. So if someone is 77...
Oh, Patrick, go right ahead.
So I'll hide things under mattresses, behind couches, under cushions. Just spread it.
Okay, awesome. Give me a roll, just so I have it.
54.
54, regular success. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So you get yourself settled. Still haven't heard from Pastor Wood. Obviously, I'm sure you can just very easily leave a message at the desk for Casa de las Suenas to let them know where you've gone. And plus, he knows you're going to the hotel, or excuse me, going to the club. So the last thing we see is the four of you. You crowd into the rental car that Marie and Patrick got for the day. You drive across this Kaiwakan neighborhood. You can see that it's that time of night where there's music playing, coming out of all these various cantinas and taverns and things. It's lit up. You can see lights, strings of lights in some places. Everything feels very festive and bright and artistic. And it's just sort of this beautiful feel to it. You find a place to park outside or behind La Paz. La Paz is a little bit more of a dive, but nonetheless, it has like that cultural richness. It's sort of like the locals bar kind of deal. And as you go in, you can see that there's already music playing. There's already a band. You can see it's probably 3/4 of the way full. Tonio is behind the bar. We can see Benji, this young, maybe 20-something-year-old kid, kind of moving around, taking orders. And you hear a voice, Patrick, calling from across this tab. You hear, Patrick! And you look out, and you can see that there is Elena, and the same table that you saw her in. She's dressed beautifully and colorfully, and she has sitting at the table with her 2 men. One tall and slender with kind of like a pompadour-like haircut. One a little bit thicker, like a linebacker, and his hair is kind of parted and combed like right down the middle. And both of them look a little sheepish as the four of you approach. And we're going to go ahead and end there, and we're going to pick up on that conversation and what you might learn from them next time around. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I was waiting
session.
for Elena to be happy that I wasn't there.
Oh.
I was thinking,
She will be.
like, she might not be sad about that.
So there's 4 women and 3 dudes at this table. All of them, I think, are under the age of 40. Right?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Everyone's in their 20s or 30s. Man, this is the time. No
Pastor
more
Wood
Pastor
needs to show
Wood
up.
dragging you guys down. You guys can get so drunk. Someone's losing a kidney tonight. It's happening. Oh, fantastic. Excellent. Okay, so we will pick up on that next time around and see how that goes. Pastor Wood and Chami, you've survived, took some damage. Everybody has taken some damage except for maybe Patrick. Patrick, are you still
I'm clean.
Attaboy. Okay. However, you're the one who's tentative with sand. Like you've still got that, and you're good because you haven't lost any sand yet, I don't think, in Mexico City. So you haven't triggered any more bouts of madness. So that's great. You've been avoiding it. Okay. So let's do some closing plugs and we'll get on out of here. So as we always like to do, we're going to go ahead and start with Steven sitting there while Maitre tells us a little bit about where we can find her on the internet. Go ahead, Maitre.
God, I need to stop finding that so damn funny, but it's not gonna happen.
Please don't, because like when you laugh at it, it makes me happy, and then when I'm happy, everyone else just keep laughing. It's great. It's like this constant. It's if we could somehow figure out how to turn that into energy, like we'll solve all the world's problems.
Amazing.
It's great.
Until then, I might play games on YouTube, where I make system agnostic, tip-top content that centers the human play experience that you should check out if you want to check out.
Fantastic. Link is in the chat if you're watching this on Twitch right now. If you're watching this later, if you're listening to this later on the podcast feed, check the show notes as always. You'll find links for everything, and you can track us down through those links. Steven, buddy, what do you got going on, man?
I'm working on a Weird West game called Huckleberry. Yeah, it's pretty amazing if I do say so myself. It's probably the best game ever written.
It's
I wouldn't know for
the
sure.
best edited game for sure.
Oh, and
no
it's got
argument
some
there. No
choice
argument
sensitivity reading.
Oh, the sensitivity! Holy
and the editing!
shit!
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh my god! It's amazing.
My mom gave it a gold star. It's a lot of fun. And if you'd like to learn more about it or possibly play it, join our Lollygagger Discord because we've got a Huckleberry corner there. Lollygaggers have a Discord. And we post fun little GIFs during the episode discussion. We also post the handouts there. So if you were curious what like the record sleeves looked like that we found in Brooke's apartment, you can go to the Discord and look at it. So there's really no reason not to be on there because it's full of cool people and it's got cool stuff. That's all I got.
Fantastic. I didn't realize you were done. I thought you had more to say. I should note that with those handouts, some of them I make myself. Some of them are official from the Eternal Lies book. Some of them are even from the Alexandrian, who did a remix of Eternal Lies. So it's a little mix of all three. So you can see all sorts of fancy different things. All right. As for us, what do we got next? Next is Monday. We got Alien. You can see myself, Maitre, and Melissa as we're back to that wonderful game. Tuesday we're off as Steven flipped the bird to us, so we won't be playing Frontier Scum on Tuesday. Thursday we'll be back for more Simba Room. Friday, Aaron will pop into the GM seat. He'll run us through some more Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. We're off Call of Cthulhu next Saturday. We're off because we're missing a few people, so we're just gonna call it off. We usually, when we have more than one person missing, we just call the week off. So we're gonna call it off next week. Whether we do something else or not next week, I don't know yet. But we'll be back in 2 more weeks with more Call of Cthulhu, and we're getting closer to the end of Mexico City. So I think we're making some progress. So thank you to everyone going out tonight. Thank you for those of you who are watching this later. We are going to go ahead and raid our friends over at Boys from the Baltic Star. So follow that raid. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy Free RPG Day. Have a great night. We'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.
I'll be seeing you.
Bye.
Adios.